Florida. So what I actually prefer to do, I can't stand when people call me. I'm not a phone person normally ever, even like with friends and stuff. It's just, I don't like it. I'm a texter. So all my prospecting, I would say, is really texting, and I do a lot of it. And I find it's better because they don't have to, it's not as intrusive. I feel like it's not as intrusive, and I'm able to get my message through. Like I do a very short, this is who I am, this is what I noticed, this is what I do. Short and concise. And I don't know, I just find I much rather people text me, friends, family, please text me, unless it's obviously something important. I can't stand talking on the phone. And when people call me that it's cold calls, I hate it. So I just feels to me, how do I cold call someone when I don't even like talking on the phone myself?
Well,
so I don't know. I've been doing texting, and that's what I do.
You nailed exactly what I said. I love you doing texting. I don't love the fact that you're putting yourself into someone else's shoes, that you don't like getting the calls, so therefore you don't want to do the calls. I'm just telling you the texting's working, and we work together one-on-one, and I've been loving that, by the way. We're doing some great stuff together here. I will say that if you just test it, maybe like one call a day. Connect with one.
And I'm good to do that. I'm good. I've tested it just by sort of asking some friends of me, like, would you prefer text or a cold call from? And they're like, oh, neither. But if I had to pick, I prefer text. But I'm happy to test it out and do one. I don't care. I used to make cold calls all the time, so that's fine.
Sure. Okay.
So, but I find like to get my message across, they cut you off before you can tell them what you do. You know what I'm saying? You can get your message across much better. This is who I am. I've never had a listing expire. I have unique marketing. Let me know if you'd like to schedule, whatever. It's quick, and you can get your message across before they hang up on you. That's all.
Okay. Let me just say this. Does everybody want the keys to the castle now? I'm going to give you one piece of advice, and you're going to take that piece of advice. And if you do it, in a month from now, you're going to call me and say, wow, I got a listing. You ready for this? I'm getting a bad connection here. Sorry, I got to go. Just kidding. It's like telling a story in the elevator, and the elevator doors actually close. Try cold calling with another person. Let me explain. If you actually sit side by side with someone, Alex, I think it would be perfect for you, by the way, because you work with your wife, and start out, Tinka's not here, but she and I made many calls like this where it's like, hey, Andy, this is Edmund Bogen and Tinka Ellington. And then Tinka goes, hi. And we're both cold calling. Now, why is that? There's a few reasons why this actually works when you cold call with two people. One, how many of you have gotten a cold call from two people at the same time? None of you. None of you. It just doesn't happen. So right now, psychologically, the people that you're actually speaking to are not expecting that whatsoever. This has got to be something more than just someone to ask me to switch from AT&T to some other company. This has got to be something a little bit more than that. So that's one. Two, there's safety in numbers. At the heart of it, we're herd animals. Now, I don't want to get into the debate about God or anything like that, about how we've evolved or whatever it might be. That said, the human nature is to be in the safety of groups. You're going to be able to make many, many, many more phone calls. Is Samantha here? Samantha? I thought Samantha was here.
I'm here.
You're here. Okay. So Samantha, we made a couple cold calls together. Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely felt different than cold calling before or getting cold calls. Everyone was receptive to us. It was almost like calling a friend, and it was great.
What did we find out? There were 3 people that we connected with, and
there were 3.
So go ahead.
And everyone, like the initial hesitation that they had as soon as they heard 2 people on the phone, they kind of immediately relaxed. And all of a sudden it became a conversation with a friend and not a cold call. And it just, people actually opened up to us and had lots of lovely conversations. We asked if we could email them, make them part of our newsletter, part of our Facebook group, and they were just lovely. It was different.
So here's an assignment to help you along. And Andy, I'm going to get you because I know you're excited by this.
Yeah.
Here's a thing to help you along. What I want you to do is script out something for 2 of you. It's very easy to do. If you need help with it, just send me what you want and I'll produce the script for you. We could go right into ChatGPT and make a short, concise, as specific as possible. That's 1. 2, get to do it with somebody else. Have somebody in the room with you ready to actually make the call. And 3, one of the things that we do is, I have a Facebook group called New to Boca Raton, Delray Beach, and the surrounding areas. We now have 7,600 people who are members of it, and we're adding about 50 or 60 people a week. Not that many compared to where other groups are growing. We need to work on that. But what happens? People are curious about the area. The questions they're asked when they join: do you rent, do you own, or are you planning to buy in the area? And by the way, can you give us your email address, because we'd like to add you to our email newsletter. Now, lo and behold, a few times a week, someone says, yeah, I'm planning on buying, and here's my email address. Holy shit, what can we do with that? I mean, we're salespeople, for God's sakes. That's where you see the value. Now, what do? We looked them up. Samantha and I made the call, and Samantha, they were pretty nice, right?
Very nice, very open, very friendly.
And we've got 3 people, and we qualified them. We've got the tools today to qualify them. So they get into the CRM, we get them into the drip campaign, and now we've got something built around that. The trick is to keep going. I wish one of these masterminds could take away the work from you, but we can make things more efficient. We can make things easier, but there is stuff that you still have to do. Andy Kay, please talk to me. You were going to say something.
Well, my question was, I think she answered it. My question was, obviously, who are you calling? I see you answered that already. So, I don't think that would go over so well for an expired or something. They'd be doubly annoyed. That's really was what I was asking. It's almost your call. It's almost like a warmer call. And for people like me, I work on my own. I could pretend to be a different person with a British accent or something. No, I'm just kidding.
Do it. Whatever it takes. You know what? In the scheme of crimes that get committed in this world, that's not one of them, right?
Right. I could pretend to be someone else.
I wouldn't put Andy Kay as one of the bad people in the world. Do whatever.
Thank you.
I had someone tell me, did you read the Realtor's Code of Ethics? I said, yeah, actually, I know it pretty cold. And I certainly could refer to it, but I look at all those things. The real rule should be, don't screw with the escrow. That's what it is. I don't want to talk about someone's feelings in sales. People insult me every day. It happens. It's not the worst thing in the world. Okay, a couple things to think about. Next Wednesday, 9 a.m. Absentee owners. We've got Andy Neal who's going to present. We've done this before. It's an encore presentation here. 75% of his business comes from people who do not live in his state or in his area. He's going to show how he actually identifies those people and mines them out of it. He's got a great technique, and holy cow, it's really working. 75% of his business, and he's a top producer. So you really do want to come to that. Of course, this will be in the video archive for all of you. Also, June is 10X month at REIGNation. So what does that mean? All the topics are about building your business, but I'm going to really have short challenges for all of you to really work on what it is that you're trying to build, what specific niche, and how are you going to make that grow tenfold. We're going to talk about various techniques, and that's going to be the real focus of that. And lastly, for those of you who are curious, I'd love to be able to talk with you about what it is to work one-on-one with a coach. We do work with several. Andy, you're one of the people that I work with, and I don't know if Alicia's here, but we've got people that are actually making a business plan, but taking it a step further, we're actually doing a lot of the marketing for you. So we're doing the skip tracing of data. We're actually setting up the marketing campaigns and email drip campaigns and all sorts of stuff. It's like no other experience. So that's my sales pitch for the meeting. If you are curious, please do let us know. Let's talk about some of the books that are out there that I think you should also know. Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. Who's heard of Maxwell Maltz? So, okay, yeah, I figured you would, Kenny. I'm going to get you on there. You get a couple grays, you remember him. Maxwell Maltz died in 1974. He wrote the book Psycho-Cybernetics in 1962. And thank you. Daniel's always right on it. He's giving Psycho-Cybernetics, if you could look up and maybe even give a link to buy it. But he was the first of the Anthony Robbins. He was actually a plastic surgeon who made the observation that when he worked with a duchess, and the duchess had some type of, bump on her nose, and she was always shy because of that bump on her nose. And he corrected it, and she was truly beautiful by any standards. She was still shy. Whereas the salesperson who had a terrible automobile accident, who was a top salesperson, and his nose was disfigured and face was disfigured, and his sales fell because he suddenly developed a low self-esteem, when he fixed that face, the guy went right back. Why? His belief is that you need plastic surgery on your psyche. You need plastic surgery on your self-esteem. In fact, you cannot behave in ways that you do not see yourself. If you see yourself as an interruption, if you see the calls coming in as an interruption, you're not going to make the call. I'm not just going to pick on Andy. I'll pick on all of you. If you think that you're a burden, you're going to be a burden. That's really the bottom line. Again, this is beyond fake it till you make it. This is really goes much, much down to the core. There's lessons that we were taught either deliberately or that we've inferred that we're failing on. And it's not serving your purpose. And I'm not a psychologist. I'm not going to be able to get you over that, but there are certain techniques that you could do. For example, if you immediately following this meeting, swear to yourself that you are going to connect to one person that you haven't spoken to in years, you're going to have to create a reason for why you want to speak to that person. That's the other thing, that write that down. What is the motivation for actually getting together? There's a woman, Dana, who I'm going to be giving a call to. I haven't spoken to her in ages. Well, hey, now I know that they made a lot of money and they have a place in Miami and they got lots of friends and everyone's reaching retirement age. And, who doesn't want to retire in Florida? So that's why I want to call her. But I got to create more of a reason behind that. So write down the word motivation. What is the motivation for actually reaching out to people? You see, here's the thing. Strategy and structure is going to win out over glitz every single time. That's what we're trying to talk about here. What strategies and structures are you putting in place? So again, for those of you who thought that this was just, again, a fake it till you make it, it's really not. You really have to stop, think through what is the motivation and what is the strategy that you have to get through. Good news, there's lots of tools in place to help you go on. The best thing that you could do is time block. You're going to spend 10 minutes, that's it. And then you're going to stop and go do something much more pleasurable. So Psycho-Cybernetics by Dr. Maxwell Maltz. Also, does anyone know Terry, what was his name? Brian Tracy. Anyone know Brian Tracy? Okay, he's another motivational speaker. He wrote a book called Eat That Frog. Now, what is that supposed to mean? If you start the day by eating a frog, everything else is going to seem very easy throughout the day. So he said, eat the frog. Now, this is more metaphorically speaking, take care of the stuff early on because it's going to be difficult for you not to. Okay, who's got some other stuff that they want to? And Daniel, again, you're always Johnny on the spot. I'm very proud. Thank you for getting this out here. Colin, yeah, I've been looking forward to having you on here. Were you waving hi, or did you have a question or comment?
I guess I'll just give some tips on like cold calling. So
Great.
thanks for inviting me into the group. This is my first meeting. I'm a realtor and a team leader in New York City, and also now in Naples, Florida, where I just relocated to. I guess just some tips on like cold calling. Well, first, if you're calling someone in your network, that's not really like cold calling. So if someone knows about you, I wouldn't consider that cold calling. But if you're calling someone that doesn't know you, the first thing is like you have to understand the mindset. Like a for sale by owner has a totally different mindset than like a expired listing or a probate lead or a pre-foreclosure. So you have to understand like their mindset before going into the conversation. But for new agents, like you should definitely call FSBOs because they're the most difficult to talk to. So it'll give you practice. It's just good practice to call them because like you have to kind of explain like what the power of a realtor is, because they for some reason they don't understand like the power that a realtor brings, which is a lot, because realtor homes sell for more than the typical realtor sold home sells for more than the typical FSBO sale does. So they're just not sold on the profession. Where like an expired listing, they hired someone already, so they understand like what a realtor brings to the table, but they're kind of like just more disappointed. And then pre-foreclosure leads is another category that is not as many people are focusing on, and those are people who fell behind on their mortgage payments. And then you have probate as well, you know, when someone passes away, and those leads are not like as ready now because they have to go through a process. But really just call to introduce yourself to the homeowner and to find out more about the property. That's really what I do. And the only other tip that I want to share is like, I definitely recommend calling in the morning time. Like when people are in the morning, they're fresh, they're more receptive to hearing what you have to say. Like that's the same thing with me. Like if you call me in the evening, I'm not going to answer, but in the morning time, I feel a lot better. You know, you're not overwhelmed with the day. So like I think 8:30 to like 11 is like the golden time to make phone calls, regardless of who you're calling. What do you think about that?
Again, all very solid advice. Certainly in the morning. I think it's more than just them in the morning. I think it's you in the morning as well.
Yes,
You've
absolutely.
got, you know, we do these. I've got, you know, REIGNation meets at twice a month at noon on Fridays. Now that's great for Alex and my friends in California, and Deneen, if Deneen is here. I don't know if she's here, but you know, sometimes I notice that we have a drop off, and that's fine. As we grow, we're going to add more and more dates and times. I mean, we've got Eitan here. He's in the United States now, but normally he's in Portugal. That's, you know, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So we try and satisfy all those times. But yes, Colin, you brought up some really valid points that I do appreciate. Laura asked, though, is it not illegal to cold call? FYI, this forum has not and will never be a forum for me to suggest what's legal and what is not. I would strongly recommend that you find out what the consequences are, because this is a problem that I have with like any law. It's only people like Laura that actually follows them. The bad people are still breaking them, and they're winning the rules. You know, when I walk into a building in Texas where everyone has the right to carry, you know, concealed carry weapons, actually open carry. In the buildings where they don't want that, they have a sign on the wall that says you are not allowed to bring a gun, and they have a gun and a cross going through it and all this. The only people that's going to obey that law are the people who are law-abiding citizens. The criminals aren't going to give a shit, right? They're not. So the whole problem that I've got with the rules is that, unfortunately, they're made for the honest people. The question, Laura, that you need to find out, because I'm sure there's a rule that says you can't cold call. What's the consequence if you do? In other words, and I'm not telling you to do it. That would never come from REIGNation. But as a professional, I'd like to know what would be the outcome if I actually broke that rule. And then you need to decide for yourself.
Yeah.
That's all.
Well,
Colin, do you know
for
anything?
sale by owners, you can call for sale by owners, because that's not they're putting their information out there publicly, and you as a realtor just calling up, even if they're on the do not call list, like you really can't get in trouble because they're publicly putting their property out for sale, and you're just simply you're calling to introduce yourself, to find out more about the property. Like I'm not calling to pitch the listing. I'm just calling to say like, hey, my name's Colin. I saw your property, you know, you put your property online. I'm just calling to find out more information about it. Is it still available? And stuff like that. And then, so it's different with expireds and other type of leads. And, you know, you have to be aware of the do not call list. And I think it's like a $5,000 fine or something along those lines.
Like $10,000 fine.
Yeah, something along those
Yeah,
lines.
no, it's not cheap. Let's check with our AI friend here. Yeah, ChatGPT, I'm curious, what is the rule about cold calling a for sale by owner? If it's put out as a for sale by owner, aren't you allowed to make that call? What is your opinion on this?
When it comes to cold calling a for sale by owner FSBO listing, it's generally acceptable as long as you comply with any local regulations and respect the preferences of the homeowner. Many FSBO sellers are open to working with agents, particularly if they feel the agent can bring value like higher offers, a quicker sale, or handling complex aspects of the transaction. However, it's always best to approach with respect and transparency. Clearly introduce yourself, explain how you found their listing, and outline the benefits you offer. Being upfront about your intentions and showing how you can address their specific needs can set a positive tone for the interaction.
Okay, so I won't go on with it much more. Again, that's pretty cool. Okay, Colin's excited. What was the quick,
So
Colin? Because I want
not
to get to other
only like
people.
for sale by owners, and honestly, I'm not, it's not something that I do regularly. But I've done it in the past, and it can be fun actually. But not only like when you call them to introduce yourself, but 9 out of 10 of them are going to tell you that they'll pay you 3% if you bring a buyer. So not only don't be scared to call them, they're literally willing to pay you. They're just not, they're not sold on hiring someone. They think that they're going to save money. And you have to understand, like, people want to save money. That's just, everybody wants to save money. So they think they're doing the right thing. But
Okay, we got to wind it up, Colin. Go just quickly.
yeah, a good amount of them are going to list with a realtor. If you track the FSBOs in your area, a good amount of them are going to end up listing with a realtor. It's going to be one of the first competent agents that call them and establish rapport and show their value.
Thank you. Sorry, I just have to keep the meeting going here, but thank you for that. Stuart, yes, divorce attorneys too. Stu, you're absolutely right. Divorce is big business for real estate agents. Death, divorce, financial ruin. Oh, we got it all, don't we, guys? You know, but I do want to get in a moment with wants, needs, and brags. I do want to hear from all of you. Is there any other points to this that you'd like to try and make? Is there anything that any observations similar to what Colin was saying that you've had, maybe Delaney or Terry or Stu, any of you have, or Susan, anything that you want to bring to the table here? Yeah, you see, you're not going to make that cold call. You're not going to make that cold call. What if we put some money on the table here and said that nope, Susan's not going to say shit. That's it. No, fuck that. I'm not going to do it. No way. Oh, Terry Robinson, save the day. Tell everyone who you are and where you are.
I'm Terry Robinson. You're not. I'm in Brooklyn. You're not, but you should be because it's the coolest place in the world. I have taken an interesting twist on this, and that I am, it's not necessarily a new idea, but it's something that I've been incorporating that tends to work now. I send people I haven't spoken to in a while a 15-30-second video hello, just text it to them, and you'd be amazed at the number of people that will respond. I was walking down the street and I don't know, your head popped into my brain, and I just thought I'd reach out and say, hey. I don't give it context. I don't give it like, this is not Terry Robinson of Douglas Sullivan Real Estate. It's not that. It is a friendly hello because you came to me, and I am thrilled at the responses that I'm getting from this. It is cold calling, but I think of it more as warm texting.
Okay, very good. Listen, I whatever it actually takes. More than anything, this topic is about complete confidence. I don't know if it's ever really achievable to be completely confident every single time. What I do know is there's certain hacks to get it a little bit better. If you read the book From Good to Great, one of the challenges that they put in there is to make yourself 1% better per day, which is actually possible. It's difficult to actually rank. What's to say that today is 1% better than yesterday? Bear with me for a second. If you keep that as the actual goal, in 70 days, you'll be 100% better. Well, why is it 100 days? Well, 1% growing each day is going to compound into 100% better. Is that actually the case? Who cares? It doesn't matter. But you will be better if you're actually working on that. You need to be able to do a self-audit. Where is your failure point? And for God's sakes, don't hide from it. Embrace it. I'm on Manjaro. I needed to lose weight. Okay, that's a flaw of mine. It's something that it's not none of your business, all my business. It's something that I'm surrounded by alcoholics, and if anyone belonged to a country club, you'll see everyone drinks. I could give a rat's ass about the alcohol, but to me, that's been a problem. I found a strategy and a structure to get around it. Is it perfect? No. Am I still a head case? Of course I am. Of course, there's a whole thing, but the point is that I'm living my best life because I've come up with a strategy. And thank God there's these technologies and medicines that are helping so many people. Again, don't want to get into the debate about whether that's good or bad. It's good for me. It's working for me. Okay, wants, needs, and brags. Now's the time to talk about what you want, what you need, and what you'd like to brag about. This could be absolutely anything, a charity that you're involved in, a deal that you've gotten, maybe somebody in the group actually gave you a lead, something. Now's the time to actually say it. who's got something. Could be your kid graduated college. Could be that somebody's picking something up. Eitan, I just saw your video. Do you have a want, need, or brag? Eitan's hiding again. Okay. Who's got it? Okay.
Hey, hey Ed, it's Dina. How are
Hey,
you?
Dina. I'm good.
Um,
Tell us who you are.
I am Dina Ulrich in Delray Beach, and I work with Ed on his team. And I will brag, yes, my daughter graduated college, so I'm super
Love-
proud.
Love
But
it.
I also have a brag. Yesterday, I
Yeah,
closed a
can
deal.
I call you in?
Hold on, guys. Whoever's not muted, mute yourself. You're killing the big moment here. Go ahead, Dina.
My big moment. No, I had a closing yesterday on an oceanfront apartment. It was an old friend who reached out. Another old friend had written in.
I'm busy as hell, so.
Whoever's busy as hell, can you turn your mute yourself, for God's sake?
Bill Robertson.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's all good.
FYI, I don't
was
care if you're
amazing.
paying me. I'll throw a cow at you if you're talking during this. Yeah, please. Go
Oh,
ahead.
it's fun. No, it was just interesting. I got this lead. He's an old friend, but another old friend, I was in a tennis group, had put out, hey, Dina moved to Florida and she's a realtor. If anybody, needs some help, reach out to her. And this old friend did. And I just sold him a $2 million apartment. So, all good things. And it's worth it to reach out to old friends. That was my point. But it's also brag because I was excited that we closed this apartment yesterday. So
and Dina, we've been working together for a while, and I really do enjoy that time that we have together. It's been great having you on the team, and I'm so delighted
thank you.
that you're making such great
Thank
headway.
you.
No, thank you. There's another thing that I want to mention, which shouldn't just pass so quickly. REIGNation has just been spun off as its own company, its own LLC. So, my partner, Eitan, who again is based overseas, we went through a week and a half of putting the plans together and growth plans together, and we created the LLC and got the tax ID number and all of this. And I'm very, very excited. We're putting a lot more resources into this, and we're going to be growing, hopefully exponentially. But not to the point of ruining the goose that laid the golden egg. So if you feel as though the service is not the same, or if you feel as though somehow we're slipping, we want to hear it because we want to fix it. So once again, you need to embrace this. But Eitan, again, he's been a dear friend of mine since college. And we poke fun at each other all the time, and we have a great time doing it. And, we've got some great things to grow. So thank you, Eitan, for all you do.
And good luck to us.
Good luck to us, which is great. Okay, who else? Anyone
I have
else?
something,
Who's that?
Samantha.
Samantha, okay, please.
Okay, so I've had a lot going on. Not only am I a new broker as of April 1st, a new sales associate with Edmund, but I had one child graduate college last weekend. I have another child graduating high school this weekend. And in between that, I just went live on my first listing. So, yay. So it is a seasonal rental in Palm Beach, right on the beach. If anybody has somebody interested, please reach out.
Yep, this is big stuff. Again, big things coming with her. And I'm going to be seeing you both at the team meeting in 2.5 hours. Yep. Okay, good. That was more of a statement than a question, but sure. Okay, so it was put up here, May 22nd, REIGNation Mastermind, absentee owner marketing with special guest Andy Neal. It's wicked cool. I hope that all of you can make that. Then May 29th, hacks for real estate success. There's all sorts of stuff that we can do. You need to leverage the AI. In and of itself, having ChatGPT write something, a lot of people say it sounds very AI-like, and that's true. You need to make certain changes to the way you approach the hacks to be able to make it much more effective. I've developed my set of tools. I know many of you have. That's going to be May 29th. And again, the month of June is 10x everything. What will it take to actually make your business 10 times greater? Yeah. Oh, but Ed, that's impossible. Okay. What if you're 2 times greater? What if you double your revenue, triple it? The point is this, that it's in us. if it's been done by somebody else, it's going to be able to be done by you. And we're trying to pull away all those barriers. And Kenny, is that a cat with you? You're still muted, Kenny. Yeah, you just, all you need to just hold up the cat. You know, I'm a huge animal fan. Okay. We don't have the time here. Okay, that's a cat. Everyone, this is a
There's
cat.
two of them.
There's two of them. We've got a cat
They're
in the
both
meeting.
white.
And boy, wasn't that fun. So thank you for the cat. We're gonna bring your animal to REIGNation Day someday. Okay, guys, look, this is going to go up on the REIGNation page for members. Please do log in and use the page. Please talk about it, criticize it, rip it apart. We don't care. We want to make it the best thing we could possibly make it. And we've got so much great stuff going on there. I really do want to hear from you and make this as personalized as we can. And finally, follow me. You can see my Instagram here. I'll follow you back. That's great. Terry, are you ready, my friend?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So when I look at a guy like Terry, it makes me say, it sure was good having all of you here today. It really is so much fun for me to lead this group. And I look forward to seeing all of you next Wednesday for another exciting episode of
REIGNation.
Fantastic. Mazel tov. Love it. Guys, it's great to see everyone. Eitan, I'm going to give you a buzz in a minute. Anyone else, if we haven't gotten together, let's get together soon. And thank you so much. We'll talk soon.
Bye.